Hey friends, this is Danny, Triple H Farms. Good morning to you. We're out here again. It's Sunday morning, and thought we'd show you guys another update. I think I'll try to do a weekly update right now. As you can see from the view here, we got some tomatoes that's been picked yesterday, and a few peppers here. And wanted to show you, this is our probably our last basket of zucchini, yellow squash, and cucumbers, at least for the first crop. Our first planting is pretty well done. I've pulled up all of the squash and zucchini plants yesterday, the last of them anyway. I'd pulled some up last week, and they're done producing. The bugs were starting to reproduce more than the produce was, so I decided to take those out, get rid of those. I'm about to go out to the garden and pick a basket of or pick some tomatoes. And anyway, but I wanted to show you guys real quick. This video today won't be too long, but just wanted to show you guys our peppers and the squash and zucchini that I showed you. I'm sorry, the squash and cucumbers that I showed you that were planted in that raised bed last week, and see how much they've grown this week. But here's our peppers. As you can see, they are just really doing good right now. We've got lots of bell peppers right now that they're really starting to do good. The jalapenos and the mucho nacho peppers, I've been picking those by the bag full. Here's some really nice bell peppers. They're doing well. They're loving the heat, obviously, as peppers do. And we have had that this last week. We actually, in our area here, set a new record for the hottest heat index ever recorded, which is not something to be proud of, I think, but it happened. We reached 125 heat index one evening this last week, and let me tell you, it was brutal. But look at these squash plants. There's only 3 of them here. I realize this is very small scale, but we had this space and I wanted to do something with it. And I thought, I'm going to plant a few squash and I'm going to plant some pickling cucumbers, because our pickling cucumbers didn't do well. Our first plantings, they have just absolutely taken off, which I am babying these pretty well. Obviously, there's only a few plants, so I can take the time to do that. Been watering them almost every day. Fertilized them yesterday, so they are really looking good. I sprinkled some diatomaceous earth on these plants earlier in the week. I'm probably going to do that again this evening. And I'm watching them very closely for bugs, and we're going to do our best to keep the bugs off of these and see if we can't get a second crop of yellow squash and some pickling cucumbers, so that hopefully we can make some pickles. Just for our family. We're not looking for anything to be able to sell here. Obviously, there's only a few plants, but hey, as those of you who garden know, 3 squash plants, if they take off and start producing, there's going to be more here than my family can eat. So that's just want to show you that. The flowers, I haven't been really watering the flowers, even though you can see a garden hose sticking in them right now. I just did that the other day. I stuck it in there while I walked back to the hydrant to turn it off, but haven't been watering them. And this is why. This time of year in the heat, see where I watered that? You can see that water hose going into these flowers. And I want you to look at this plant. That's the plant that received most of the water, and it's dead. When you water these things this time of year in the heat, or late in the evening, it just zaps them. It's so hot. So these flowers are really just, they're just kind of hanging out. They're just, I won't even say surviving, because the blooms that are here, I need to come in and cut all of these blooms, all these flowers I should say, off. And they would start to rebloom again if we could get some moisture to them without burning them up. There's some new buds starting to come out. But I'll walk over here briefly, show you the tomatoes. They look horrible, but they are producing. So we've got about 20 plants that I've been picking off of this week, We're going to make a couple of batches of salsa today. So those tomatoes you saw on the table there at the first of the video. And then hopefully, as you can see, possibly, I've only got one hand here. I don't know if I can zoom in. But there are some that need to be picked. I'm figuring I will get 2 or 3 dozen tomatoes here off of these plants this morning, and then we'll use those. We're going to make a couple of batches of salsa this afternoon, and you know, it's expected to be super hot again this week. Like 100 today, 101, 2 tomorrow. So I really anticipate. You can see I didn't get all the tree limbs picked up. I got them all cut up, but I don't have them picked up from the wind damage we had. Over here on the end of the garden, we've been in here trying to pull grass a little bit at a time and getting it cleaned up some. I don't know what we're going to go back with. This is where the yellow squash was. I've still got some down on that far end I need to get cleaned out. Try to get that cleaned out today, and then I don't know. It's so hot right now. I really would like to wait 2 to 3 more weeks. About the middle of August, I'll probably come in here and plant something, even if it's just a cover crop. But I've got to get something back on this soil because the sun and the heat is just absolutely destroying my my soil here. Our okra, I've just about gave up on our okra. It's not doing well. I don't know what's going on. Well, I do know what's going on. I've had some grasshopper issues, but it is what it is. As I mentioned in the videos before, I'm just so busy. I haven't been here to take care of things like they need to be taken care of. There's a little zucchini plant, another one right over there that's came up, and kind of been babying those along and watering them, see if we can get those to grow. And again, just produce us a little bit more produce for ourselves. There's a few slicing cucumbers in that little row. But as you can see, the grass is just taking over, absolutely taking over. There's some cucumber vines in here that's got to get pulled out today and cleaned up. And I think what I may do is just bring my weed eater in and knock all this tall grass down with it. And then I may put an overhead waterer on this. I hate to overhead water, but I may use an overhead waterer one night, let it run for several hours on this plot, and moisten the soil up real good, and then come in behind it and try to pull those grass roots up once the soil is loosened up and moist, so they'll come up a lot easier. Anyway, I said this was going to be a short video. Here we are, nearly 8 minutes. I'm going to end it here. Appreciate you guys watching it. Just wanted to show you an update. I'll try to do this again next week, and as you can imagine, next week it's probably going to look even worse because this heat is absolutely going to start taking things out. So anyway, you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. Be sure and like our videos, subscribe if you haven't already, and please share our videos with someone you know enjoys gardening and this lifestyle. We appreciate you, and until next time, get dirty and grow yourselves some food.